I, 18M, lost my mom 7 months ago to cancer. She had been sick for 3 years, and in the last 2 months we found out my dad had been having an affair almost the entire time she was sick. My mom was absolutely destroyed by the news when she learned it, and what's worse is my dad's affair partner wanted to try and straighten things out before my mom died. My dad was kicked out of the house and mom changed her funeral plans and everything so that my dad would not be able to go. She changed her will and went out of her way to ensure I would be getting everything and not him. She set it up in a way where my aunt would have a temporary guardianship over it, or whatever it's called, and my dad could not get his hands on it that way either. She was very clear that she had not wanted my dad with someone else while she was alive and would not act like things were okay after either. When my mom died, it was the most painful time in the world for me, and I am still processing life without her. I also hate my dad for the harm he caused during mom's final months. The fact is, he made it all 10,000x harder than it ever needed to be. All because he couldn't remain faithful to her in life. He got engaged to his affair partner the week my mom died. They decided to wait until mom was gone a year to try and save some of his reputation. But I have hardly anything to do with him, and anything I do have to do with him is because he makes the effort and he reaches out. He wanted me to know he was engaged, and he wanted me to meet his other woman. And he forced those things on me. The last time they decided we needed to speak, I told them not to send me an invite to the wedding because I won't go and I won't respect them enough to RSVP officially. They were upset and told me to think about the future and other BS like that. I told them if they thought they were worthy of being grandparents, which they mentioned, then they needed to think again. Then they tried to guilt me with a sob story of how she was widowed for many years and her kids all turned their backs on her and took her grandkids away because they were disgusted with her for moving on. Didn't move me one little bit. But my dad's family are kinda pissed that I am drawing such a hard line at the wedding. They already know people judge my dad and think it would look way better if I was there. My dad also thinks I am taking his relationship with mom out on him instead of judging based off how he was as my dad. But I stand by a dad who makes their kids' loss of their other parent harder than it needs to be is not a good dad. And he made losing mom so much harder. I'm hearing from so many family members that I need to go to the wedding, and I'm wrong to say no that I am asking.
Comment 1. NTA, tell the family that is harassing you about it that the only way you'll go is if you get carte blanche for the first speech at the reception, and you doubt they would want to hear what you'd have to say about the happy couple. You're just doing what your dad did. Practice what it's like when someone isn't there anymore, and just being a bit early with it. Also, if all her kids turned their backs on her, and not let her be a grandparent, there has to be more reason than poor her. Sounds like a good plan, I'd follow suit. Comment 2. NTA. His family are trying to cover up his heinous behavior. I guess the rotten apple didn't fall far from the rotten tree. Is there any benefit to you remaining in touch with a single one of them? If not, cut them all out. I am so truly sorry that all of this happened to you. You deserve so much better. I hope you're allowed the space and respect to grieve and recover from losing both of your parents in this devastating way. Comment 3. First of all, I'm really sorry for your loss. Second, absolutely NTA. Those many family members are no doubt your dad's family. If this were me, I'd add them all to a group chat and ask them, why does forgiving your dad for cheating on a dying woman trump you grieving your mother? Why does he deserve absolution for making a dying woman's last few months on this earth harder? Tell them that you'd be happy to pass on to their spouses that they think in sickness and in health is just an empty phrase. Honestly, F these people. Okay, so I'm in high school and this was in my English class. Our real teacher is on paternity leave and we have a long-term substitute. So yesterday she was telling us she wants us to write personal memoirs about something very important in our lives, and she goes about listing various examples for different students. She told me I could write about being adopted and how I felt when my parents told me. Now I must have made a face then, because I'm not adopted. I have 2 dads, but they had me through surrogacy. So technically there was a legal adoption for my non-bio dad, but one of my dads is my bio dad, and my bio mom is my other dad's sister who donated her egg and carried me. I think it would be a stretch to call me adopted. Also, the sub has no basis to even know any of this because as much as I've written in class is just that I have two dads. Anyway, she's kinda old school and doesn't like when we talk too loud, which to her is talking at a normal indoor level on group assignments, make any normal faces and whatever. She basically called me out on making a face and was like, "Op, if you don't want to write about being adopted, you can choose another important topic to your life, maybe how you help your dad at home." One of my dads has cerebral palsy and is mostly blind from optic neuropathy. I did write briefly about that in the intro assignment with our other teacher, so he must have left them with her to get to know the class. I was confused, so I said I'm not adopted. She just put her hand over her heart and goes, "Oh, honey." So now my brain, which was lagging, caught up and I realize she's only thinking I'm adopted because I have two dads. So at this point I'm like, whatever, I'll just play into it, so I look upset and I'm like, I didn't know I was adopted. She's kind of panicking a bit and telling everyone to just start writing something. A lot of my friends are laughing under their breath because they know I'm not adopted, so she's telling everyone quiet down and it's not funny and to get to work. I'm like, what do you mean I'm adopted? She's trying to tell me not to worry about it and just ask my dads when I get home. And I'm like, how can I be adopted? So she just sends me to the school counselor, and I told her this story basically, and she basically gave off the vibe that it was a shitty thing to mess with a sub that way, and I could have just explained I'm not adopted because now I've made her worry unnecessarily and embarrassed her. I don't think parts of my life are up to her to decide what I want to share or not, and I feel like it's on her if she feels embarrassed for assumptions she made. Maybe that makes me the a-hole. Comment 1. NTA, teacher is completely inappropriate. Good for you mirroring back her BS. The counselor had a crappy perspective. She and the teacher are not respecting you as a person, including your privacy. What about the teacher blatantly talking about you, then conveying pity, your supposed ignorance? School staff should not state personal life details, or insinuations, in class. This is a breach of privacy. You and your family should submit a complaint and/or meet with the principal/teacher and counselor. There is no stopping this person. Imagine her asking others, "You can write about being homeless, your GMA's passed, twins' death in the ice last year." Imagine if topics were stated aloud in class for her to write about. Best to you. OP comment. Yeah, that's basically what she was doing. Like, for example, she told my friend to write about what it was like emigrating from India, and told another kid to write about having a sibling who survived childhood cancer. The sibling also goes to our high school, and there's like a little plaque for her in the office that they put there during Childhood Cancer Month a couple years ago. Stuff like that. Comment 2. That teacher had it coming. I was born to a single mom at a time and in a place when that wasn't done. My grade 5 teacher, at the beginning of the year, asked me, "So, your father is dead?" I was confused, so I just nodded. In grade 6, same teacher, same question at the beginning of the year. By then I had caught on to her little shame game, so 11-year-old me said, "You know he's not, so why are you asking again?" She turned beet red and never asked or commented again. NTA. So I, 22F, was at Goodwill the other day looking around. On one of the shelves I noticed a basket turned upside down, picked it up to look at it. I was looking for a container to put my jewelry in, and found this really pretty little marble statue underneath. Like one of those ones of a lady with the arms and head cut off. I really liked it and it was only $5, so I decided to get it. But this lady near me noticed what I was holding and said, "Oh." This other lady was looking at that. I think she hid it under the basket so no one else would see it. I asked if she was gonna buy it. The lady said she wasn't sure. She looked around and said she didn't see the woman anywhere. I felt a little bad, but I carried it around for a while looking at other stuff, and figured if that lady saw me holding it she could come argue with me if she felt like it. After maybe 10 to 15 more minutes of looking, I was ready to leave and went to the checkout. Right when I set my stuff down I heard this voice say, "Are you kidding me?" And this older lady came up right next to me and put her hand on the statue. I noticed a man was with her, probably her husband. I was gonna buy this, I hid it. It's mine, she said. I don't like confrontation, but I was also kinda mad that she was already getting in my face. I said, I've been carrying this around and you haven't come up to talk to me about it until now. I didn't know you were set on buying it. Well, didn't you notice it was hidden? I was making up my mind and I hid it so no one else would see it. And I decided, I'm gonna buy it. Someone told me a lady was looking at it, but I didn't know you were gonna buy it. I'm sorry, I'm already getting it. And we both looked at the poor cashier, who kind of shrugged and said, yeah, I mean, she's already up here buying it. And you can't really call dibs on something, you haven't purchased it yet. Then the lady's husband gets involved and says, come on kid, let her have the statue. We're gonna put it on the dining room table. Where are you gonna put it, your desk? And I said, yep, I am, because I'm buying it. They both just kind of scoffed and looked at each other like I was some young punk who had just disrespected them or something. I give the cashier my card, I sign for it, he hands me my bag, meanwhile they're still standing there. I don't think either wanted to do something as blatant as physically take it from me. The lady said, you want it that bad, even though I already was gonna buy it? I've been looking for a decoration like this for months. Are you gonna die if you don't have it? And I said, yes I am, and I walked out cause I didn't feel like fighting anymore. Meanwhile they followed me outside, and lucky me we parked near each other, saying stuff like no respect. And unbelievable. And I swear to God I think the woman even said what a little bitch before she closed her door. Comment 1. NTA. Proper ways to claim an item while you're still thinking about if you want it. Hold it in your hands, put it in a cart, put it in a basket, take it to the register and say, I'd like to buy this item, could you hold it here for me? Hiding merchandise within, under, or behind other merchandise doesn't constitute a valid claim, as someone else coming across it triggers their ability to invoke the age-old rule of finders keepers. Comment 2. Ha ha ha. I was at Sam's Club yesterday and had the last 4 totes in my basket. I had to go to the bathroom so bad but didn't want to leave my cart unattended. Other people were looking at the display as I took the last of them, so I found an employee by the register and explained my situation. They happily watched my cart for me. I went to the bathroom as fast as I could, was still worried that someone would take them. When I went back my cart was gone, and just when I was going to confront the employee, I noticed that she had moved it closer to the register. Yay! I got my totes. LOL. Comment 3. NTA. What a bizarre situation. Unless it's in her hands or her basket, or she is standing in front of it looking at it, she has no moral right to claim it. It $5. How long did she think that it would be there for? If she was really looking for a decoration like it for months, she should have been more careful about laying claim to it. Both and her husband were insufferably rude. My ex-husband, David, and I were married for 5 years and last year we divorced. We have one daughter, Lily, who recently turned 7 this year. Lily's birthday was around the corner, so I was busy with decorations, the cake and the invitations. I asked her who she wanted to attend her birthday party and she said she wanted her aunts, uncles, cousins, basically everyone she knew from both sides. I wasn't bothered with Lily inviting anyone from her father's side because we were both familiar and comfortable with them. I called David and I told him about the invitations and he was cool with it until he brought up his wife. He told me that he will bring his wife. He didn't ask me, he told me like he was forcing it because he knew I would say no, and I did say no. I told that I was not comfortable with his wife, especially her meeting Lily, and Lily doesn't even know her that much and I haven't even had a proper talk with her before she can see my daughter. The only thing I knew about this lady was that she did something wrong with my husband, knowing very well he's married and has a daughter, and I was supposed to feel comfortable with that. He then told me that I was making this about me and not Lily, that Lily is child, she doesn't even know anything yet, and he really wants Lily to meet his wife and she also wants to meet her. I said to him that if she really wants to meet Lily, then she has to speak to me first and see how she really is before I can trust her with my baby. He replied to me by saying that I was jealous and that I didn't want Lily to see her new family and be comfortable with them, and that I was hurting his wife because I wouldn't let her see her stepdaughter, who is like her own daughter. I was done with him and told him if he didn't want to come then it's fine. It's not like he paid a single dime for anything for the birthday party, and he was crazy for me to say yes to a woman who ruined my marriage and is the reason why my daughter has to grow up with separated parents. Comment 1. Okay, you stated that Lily doesn't know her that much. Then you state she hardly knows her. Then you state the new wife wants to meet her. What is it? Your story isn't adding up. I will say this. A birthday party isn't the right time to meet a child for the first time. I would hate to have the child humiliated by any negative interaction between any of you. Who knows how his family feels about her? You are right to want to meet her first. This means her father hasn't taken her since he met and ran off with this woman? Yet, he states Lily is like a daughter to her. Doesn't add up. Last thing, she didn't break up your marriage. He did. I am sure he told her some wild story, and she thought your marriage was already broken/over. You would be amazed at what men can convince a woman of. How long ago was this that he ran off, got divorced, and remarried? Sounds like he did it in a hurry. Comment 2. Doesn't matter what the woman knew or not, the fact is that OP's husband cheated on her and then married the woman very quickly after his divorce. It's perfectly reasonable for OP not to want her at their daughter's birthday, which he isn't even contributing to financially.